My name's Ryan. I have a problem with my doohickey. It's embarrassing to admit, but at my age, I just want my doohickey to work. Welcome back, Bikeaholics. Ryan Urlacher here, lawabidingbiker.com. Always thank you for checking back in. All right, all jokes aside, everybody probably knows by now that first generation and second generation Kawasaki KLRs have had a long time issue with their balancer chain tensioners, and you can definitely replace it. It is something you'll want to do, and it is called a doohickey, and that's exactly what we're going to show you how to do in this video. There are a couple things you're going to need. All right, it's fairly inexpensive to do this, and by doing it, you could avoid a whole bunch of problems that could be really expensive. So there's 4 things you're going to need, and they're from Eagle Manufacturing, and that is the doohickey itself. And then I would strongly suggest that you don't just do the standard regular doohickey kit, which comes with expandable stretch springs. You can get an additional torsion spring, and it's not that expensive. That's really the way to go. And then you're going to need a rotor holder wrench, and you'll want to replace your actual rotor bolt. They don't want you to reuse that. And here's a few additional things you'll want to have on hand, and don't worry, everything I'm talking about, I will put links in the description below, either to purchase them right from the Law Abiding Biker store, or I'll at least have affiliate links for you. And here's 4 items from Tusk that I suggest you have on hand, and that is a flywheel puller, a generator cover and case gasket, and some gasket scrapers. And last, you'll want to have 3 quarts of oil on hand along with some gasket maker. And with that said, what do you say we get wrenching, huh? Oh, and real quick, before you leave this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell icon. Every time those are hit, another biker joins the revolution, and we would love to have you be part of it. All right, first thing he's working on is just removing the skid plate here so we can have better access. This is actually an aftermarket Ricochet skid plate on this KLR. We already did a video on the YouTube channel on how to remove and install this, so I'll link to that video in the description below for you. All right, and with a Sharpie marker, he's just marking where the shifter is on the shaft. That'll make it easier when we put it back on. And with an 8mm wrench there, he's just removing that top bolt so he can, just loosening it so he can get the shifter off the arm. And I'll just back it right off the arm there. All right, and with his 10mm socket on a T-handle, there's 3 bolts on that front sprocket guard. And that's what he's removing. We'll have to get this out of our way. And just finishing up on that last top one there. And he can back that sprocket cover out of the way. All right, and so he's underneath the bike, and that's a 17mm socket. And he's going to take out the oil drain plug. Of course, the bike is warm, and he's already removed the oil filler cap so that it helps and makes this drain easier. And we'll go ahead and just let this drain for now. All right, so he's just going to go back up with his drain bolt. And of course, it's got the crush washer on there. He'll get that finger started in there. Going back up with his 17mm socket there. He's going to start getting this tightened down. Of course, he's got a torque wrench. We're going to torque it to 21 foot-pounds. All right, and on the left side of the bike here, we're going to remove the neutral sensor wire. It just pulls right out. All right, and attached to this cover are just some wires here, just pulling them out of the channel because we're going to have to get this stator cover out of our way. All right, and with an 8mm socket on his T-handle there, he's going to go around the stator cover. And it looks like there's 10 different bolts around it. All right, and he's just backing out his last one there. Okay, and with all the bolts out of there, he can go ahead and remove the stator cover. You can see it's attached to wires, so we got to hang this out of our way now. And you can see he's just got a zip tie around one of his down tubes there. He'll put it through one of the bolt holes, and we'll just zip tie this out of our way. All right, you can see his gasket there. We're going to pull the old gasket off here. Just be aware there's 2 dowel rods there. For your stator cover, just for alignment. He's going to go ahead and pull both those out and put them over here out of the way in the corresponding holes. They can only go in one spot, and that way we don't lose those guys. Okay, next we're going to remove the 2 gears here. However, be aware there's washers on the outside. Sometimes those washers can get stuck to the inside of the stator cover. Just make sure you look for them and don't lose them. He's going to remove these. There's also washers on the back side. So he's being aware of the washers on the back side. So the top gear, the shaft stays in. Sometimes on the bottom one, it will come out along with the bearing races, and you can see it actually got left up in there. So he's going to go ahead and pull that shaft out of there and his bearing races. All right, he's going to put his bearing races back in there and just reassemble this gear. We just wanted to show you because that does happen a lot. Pull his pin out there. And he's reinserting that. And then don't forget the washer on the inside. And that's reassembled now. Washer on both sides. And we'll set both of these gears to the side for now. All right, so this is up to you, but we've just jammed basically a breaker bar in underneath the frame a little bit, however you can, because we're going to put our rotor bolt wrench up on here, and that gives it something to fight against, because these rotor bolts are torqued down real good. And I will link to this tool in the description below. Very handy to have for this project. You'll either get it through the Law Abiding Biker store, or I'll have an affiliate link. So he's got his 19mm socket for that rotor bolt, of course on a breaker bar, because these things are torqued down good. And he'll get this broke free. There he goes, he got it. And we'll just finish loosening this. All right, he's going to finish backing out his rotor bolt. Now we've got our rotor puller tool, and it's just threaded, so he's just going to put some oil on the threads. And then he's going to take that rotor puller tool and just go ahead and thread it in where we remove the rotor bolt from. And he's going to go ahead and put his rotor holder wrench back over the rotor puller tool. Again, links to all these tools in the description below. And with a 22mm socket, he's going to get it on there with a ratchet, of course, and he's going to start tightening this down. Now this should pop when he gets it to a certain point, and it's actually going to back that rotor off there. And it did pop just a little bit there. He can take his wrench off there, and he's just going to continue threading it in. Once it pops, you can pretty much do it with your hand. All right, and the rest just came out threading it in with his hands there, and he can back that out of the way and set it aside. All right, and so one thing you'll want to note is the Woodruff key. You'll see it on the shaft, easy to lose. And then there's also a channel right there for the Woodruff key in the rotor itself, so those have to be lined when you put it back on. And for now, we're just going to remove that little Woodruff key so that we don't lose it. All right, we're going to remove the starter clutch gear. There's a big washer on the front, and there's two on the back. They may fall out, but just be aware of them. He's holding the front one there, and it looks like his two washers on the back stayed up on the shaft, and he'll just pull those off for now, set them aside. All right, with an 8mm on his T-handle there, we're just removing the tensioner pin. Just be aware on second generation models, there is a washer on that. You don't want to drop it down in there, so just use caution while you're taking this out. And of course, we'll set that aside for now. All right, now we can go ahead and pull this stock adjuster arm out of the way. All right, now we're just going to remove the inner cover here. There's 8 bolts. They are 8mm. That's what he's got on his T-handle there. He'll just go all the way around. All right, and there's 8 on the outer there, and there's one more, a 9th, and it is on the inside, and it is a shorter bolt, so just be aware of that. Same size, but that'll be our last bolt for this inner cover. Just be aware at the shaft at the bottom before we pull the inner cover, you just want to make sure that doesn't come with it. So these can be a little bit of a bugger to get off, but there's a couple tricks, and you'll see the starter up there, starter gear. He's just going to push in on that and pull out on the back with his fingers, and that can usually break it, and then you can just work the bottom until you can kind of get a gap. You kind of got to work it evenly, and you can see there the little finesse, you can get that off there. And he'll remove that old gasket off there. Of course, we're going to replace that. All right, and he's got some needle nose. He's going to take this stock tensioner spring off here. This is one of the fail points as these springs break. Of course, ours isn't broken yet. We're going to get rid of this little system and put a torsion spring instead. All right, and this inner cover also has 2 dowel pins. So we're going to go ahead and pull those top and bottom, set them aside just so we don't lose them. So now he's going to go around to all the different covers, wherever there were gaskets, and he's using gasket scrapers. I will link to these in the description below. These are Tuss brand, and you can either give them in our store or I'll have affiliate links. But nonetheless, he's gently scraping any leftover gasket material from all the different surfaces. All right, guys, real quick, and we'll get right back into your video. A lot of man hours, effort, and of course finances go into keeping this YouTube channel going strong. There is a way you can support us by becoming a patron member, link in the description below. Basically, you pledge a certain amount per piece of content, no risk to you because you can put a monthly cap. There are benefits such as t-shirts and stickers, access to the private Facebook group, it's a troll-free zone, access to our live video broadcast and chat, access to our premium videos up on request, and access to those ride and meetup events. All right, let's get back into your video. So there's a couple different ways to do this. Your kit's going to come with these, and it comes, of course, we're going to get rid of the stock spring. That's the one that came out. Your kit will come with 2 springs. They're different sizes. And basically what you're looking for is you can, they say to try the long spring first, the longer spring first. And you can just set it up in there, of course, hook it in, and then you can hook it to the other side. And what you're looking for is 8 to 10 millimeters of stretch in the spring. If the longer one doesn't have 8 to 10 millimeters of stretch, when you hook it on the other side, then you would use the shorter one. We're not actually going to hook it. We're just kind of showing you for demo purposes. But that's what you want to look for. Now, in our case, we're not using either of these springs. We're going to go above and beyond, and it's really what you should do, in my opinion, and that's do the torsion spring. So we're going to use neither of the replacement coil springs, and we'll move on to installing the torsion spring. All right, so we're not using either of the coil springs. We're doing the more robust replacement, which just requires us to drill one hole. It's really easy. The kit comes with a drill bit. But we're going to do the torsion spring. So what you want to do is you'll see that tab on the torsion spring. We want to set that on the cover here, and you want to orientate it like we have the cover. And you want to put that little tab in the 5 to 5:30 position if you were looking at that and it was a clock. And once you get it in the 5 or 5:30 position, you can mark it with anything, mark it with a marker, scrape it, do whatever you need to do, because that is where we want to drill our hole. All right, and once you have that marked in the 5 to 5:30 position, he's going to go ahead and drill a hole through it. And again, your kit comes with the drill bit that you need. All right, and just make sure after you drill, he's using just a little contact cleaner. Just clean up the area where all the metal shavings are there. He'll flush those out of there and then wipe it down with a rag. And just finishing up cleaning all the metal shavings out of there. Okay, so now the hole is drilled. He's going to take his torsion spring and put the tab in the hole we drilled there. All right, and we've got our new gasket, of course, and he's going to put the dowel pins in. Don't forget those. There's 2 of them. They only go in one spot. He'll seat his gasket up on there. We're just using Tusk replacement gaskets. I will link to them in the description below. Just to make sure, he's putting a little oil on the starter O-ring there. That will help the inner cover here slide back on nice and easy. And he'll set that into place. And you just got to seat this down evenly and just making sure his gasket is staying in place there. All right, before we bolt down the inner cover there, just remember that these are all the stock bolts that we took out. And one is shorter, and the shorter one is the one that will go on the inside there. The rest are all outer bolts, so just be aware of that. And he'll get that finger started, and he'll go around and finger start all the outer ones. All right, and with his 8mm socket, all he's doing is going around each bolt right now and just barely getting it to seat. All right, so we've got our torque wrench set to 78 inch-pounds, and we'll go around and torque all these. Now, when you're doing this, you want to go in a crisscross or star pattern around the inner cover. And what I mean by that is you wouldn't want to just go around and go clockwise or counterclockwise. The reason you want to jump around like he's doing is so that you torque this down evenly. And so he's just going to go around and he'll finish torquing all of these again to 78 inch-pounds. All right, just make sure you go crisscross around this more than one time, because as you torque one, it will free up the other side. And so he's just going around a couple times and making sure that they're all torqued. All right, he's going to go ahead and put his new doohickey up in place, and you just position it like so. He's going to push the doohickey as far forward as he can, which maybe will be about halfway. It's got a lot of tension on it. And he will put the pin in and tighten it down here to hold the doohickey in place. And he's just tightening that down with his 8mm socket there. Okay, the easiest way, we've got to hook this torsion spring to the doohickey we just put on. So you grab it with a pair of pliers is the easiest way. He's going to bend it down, and then it's easy just to push on the top with a screwdriver like so. And you set it right in place. And with an 8mm for now, we're going to go ahead and loosen the pin up, and we'll tighten that down later. All right, we're going to start reassembling here. We're going to put the 2 washers in first over the shaft there before we put our starter clutch gear on. Seat those into place. Now he'll take his starter clutch gear and slide it on. And don't forget the washer on the outside. Next is his woodruff key, and he'll slide that up into place. All right, and with his woodruff key in place there, he can go ahead and slide his rotor up there. Remember that there is a notch in the rotor for the woodruff key, and it just takes a little patience and finesse to get it lined up here. All right, and once you work it onto the woodruff key there, you just push it in and seat everything in place. So it's suggested for this project you replace your rotor bolt. So that's a brand new one. He's going to get it started with his fingers. And if we haven't mentioned, of course you could do this project on the floor, which really sucks. We're very, very blessed here. And we have a Titan lift and a 1,000 pound mini jack and a dropout rear wheel. If you want to get hooked up with this setup, I will link to it in the description below. We love it, and we do carry it right in the law-abiding biker store. It's our Titan 1,000 pound lift. All right, so we're going to torque the rotor bolt down. He's going to get his holder wrench on there. And he's got a 19 millimeter socket on a torque wrench. We're going to torque this in stages is the way it works. The first is 15 foot-pounds, and you can see he got it there. Now he's going to go ahead and back that rotor bolt actually all the way out. All right, and once you get your rotor bolt out, just have a rag, and you want to clean all the oil and any debris off the threads. He's going to go ahead and put his clean bolt back in there. All right, we're really going to torque this down now, and you can see the engine guard is actually holding the holder tool in place. And the second time here, we're going to torque this down to 144 foot-pounds. He's got his larger torque wrench there. And you can see 144 pounds is a lot of torque. So he actually had to get up on a ladder so he could get his body weight into that. So it is a ton of torque, but we got it there. 144 foot-pounds. So we're going back in with our starter gears. He's going to do the top one first, and the larger gear goes back towards the motor. Lines up with the actual starter there. And now he's going to come in with the bottom one, and it's just the opposite. The smaller gear goes back towards the motor. So you can see he got that in place, and now he's just going to, with his other hand, work that starter clutch gear a little bit, and all lines up just like so. All right, he's just putting his dowel pins back in place there before we put the outer cover on here. And going up with his brand new gasket for the outer cover. Again, links to all this stuff we used in this video in the description below, including the Tusk gaskets here. All right, so we have just a little gasket maker there, and we're going to use a little bit of that. You see where the wires go into the cover, and there's just kind of some rubber grommets, for lack of a better term. We just want to make sure that's sealed up good. So as you can see, just putting some of that gasket maker on there. All right, and just clipping his stator cover loose here where we had it hanging. All the gaskets in place, the gasket maker is on there, and he'll position this cover back in place, making sure his gasket stays situated just right there. You can just give it a few taps like he's doing with your fist to get everything seated down just right. All right, and he's moving right into starting finger tightening all his stator cover bolts all the way around. All right, and so once you get all these fingers started, you just got a torque wrench, 78 inch-pounds on this outer stator cover. Remember to go in a crisscross pattern. Don't just go around one way or the other, jump back and forth. And we'll do that several times and just make sure they're all torqued down. All right, now we'll torque the Doohickey adjuster bolt, and we're going to torque it to 78 inch-pounds. All right, and he's just going to put his rubber plug back over the adjuster bolt there. All right, now he's going to work his neutral sensor wire back in place. And he's just plugging in his neutral sensor wire. Then he's going to work those other wires to the stator cover back into the channel up there. Just kind of get everything pushed back in place. All right, he's just going back in with his shifter lever. Of course, we made a mark on the shifter shaft, so we know how it goes back on. And this is an aftermarket Tusk shifter lever. I'll also link to this for you guys. But he's just going to tighten that down, that top bolt. And putting his front sprocket guard back in place there. And with his 10 millimeter socket, he's just going to tighten down the 3 bolts in the guard. So now he's just going to top the motor off with an oil filter change. It calls for 2.6 quarts. We're going to put in just shy of 2.6 quarts. And then we'll run the motor, circulate the oil through, let it sit, and then we'll check the oil and top off as needed. That's always just a good precautionary thing to do so that you don't have it overfilled. All right, so we ran the bike for a couple minutes, and we had to add just a little bit to top it off, and you just want to make sure in your inspection window down there that it's near the top marks. I feel like a new man. My dude. It's gonna. I'll get through it once I stop laughing.